Good afternoon from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. Yes, Charlie. The kookaburra's outside. He just landed on the tree. Oopsie. Can you see him? Turned his head away and pointed the iPhone to the window, but of course he doesn't know what we're doing. He's a bird. He doesn't know we're trying to film him. Anyway, he's been hanging around a lot in the garden, hasn't he, Charlie? Mr. Kookaburra? Yes, Cookie. Say hello, Cookie. It's a very good omen to have kookaburras around, in my opinion. But that's because I live in Australia. Australia, the land of the kookaburra, who laughs all day long and says, "Oh, what fun." Yes. But you're the psychedelic budgie of the Australian birds, and you are the most colourful and the most aggressive of them all. Even though you look like a really colourful psychedelic birdie, you're all known for having very, very, very bad tempers. So there is that. Anyway, Cookie's looking for insects of some kind. Yes, Charlie, she's happy to see me. I've been out this morning. I went to go and check on my jewellery that I've got on display at Spellbound Mana at Capalaba Central, and yes, it's all very nice. So the women that run that shop and own the shop are lovely. And and then my friend Lynn and her granddaughter Ali came down to meet me there, so we went and had a coffee together, which was also lovely. So I've had a lovely morning. Yes, Charlie. We took that stupid Optus Modem and returned that too first thing this morning. It's all done and dusted, hopefully. No more stress for Mama T for a while. What do you reckon, Charlie? No more stress, Mama T. No. But anyway, certainly no more today. Let's hope not anyway. It's Friday, so you know what that means. I'm going dancing. The only stress will be finding a park that's not going to cost me $644, just saying. By the gods. When I get slammed by the autocracies in the Brisbane City Council and other malfeasant types, they really know how to slam me. Double whammy. Double whammy. Yes. But my angels say it's going to be okay, whatever that means. Whatever that means. So we'll have to trust in the angels, won't we, Charlie? Mama's landed in the poo. We'll have to rise that effluent like a sailor on acid. What do you say, Charlie? She says, rise above it, Mama T. Rise above it. All right, today's memories of even date are titled Threats Intensified in the Hood, Physical and Psychic. But my angels recalibrated me and reminded me that every action is simplicity. Wash the damn car. Clean heart, clear mind, clean car. Needs to be done. I was going to do it today, but I've been busy all morning and now it looks like it's going to rain soon. Any excuse, am I right? I know, Mama T's can be grotty. I'm grotty about cars. I don't know why that is. It's just, it's probably something I need a man for, like my ex-husband was obsessed with washing my car and his car and constantly washed them. I have to say the only benefit of being married to that man, well, two benefits, was he cooked and he washed cars. So that's the only attributes of being in that 10 and a half year marriage and 12-year relationship with that entity. What was I good for? Never mind. I gave him two beautiful children, but he didn't actually appreciate them either, which is the other reason why I left. Who doesn't love and value and cherish their own children, especially when they're sweet little girls? At a time when they were still sweet, by the way. I left them when they were 9 and 7. Anyway, awfulness, but it's a long, long time ago. So we're over it now, actually, to be fair. We are over it. Just these things crop up in my memories, and they're part of my life history, my life path at the time. Yes, my darling. Here's a beautiful photo of a very elderly woman. And the photo's not of the actual author, by the way. I don't think she's quite that elderly. But it's a quote by Clarissa Pinkola Estes, the woman who wrote Women Who Run With the Wolves, which was a life-saving book when I started reading it as my marriage crumbled in 1994. Just saying, by the gods. But anyway, the quote is from Clarissa Pinkola Estes: "If you have never been called a defiant, incorrigible, impossible woman, have faith. There is yet time." Indeed. And here's a photo of this quite elderly looking lady raising her finger in defiance. "Here I am," she says. "I'm incorrigible and defiant." And what was the other thing? I've forgotten already. Oh dear goddess. Impossible woman. Wow, don't wait to get that old to be, that self-determined, just saying. Got to keep at it, girls and women. Work it. Work your mojo. And shine bright like a diamond every day in every way. And the same goes for men. Shine in your own fabulous masculine glory. Never cede, never quit, never yield to other people's judgments and awfulnesses. Just hold your own and take delight in who you are and love who you are. And it's a journey for all of us, no matter what age we are. We all have our inner children and our own innate traumas that we've had to grow back from again and again and again. So just enjoy who you are. That's all I have to say about that. Anyway, here we go. 9th of August 2024, so today, 7:22 a.m. What you doing, Charlie? Just be good. Awake. A better night. Only got up twice, around 2 a.m. and then again at dawn. Pretty good, especially after wrangling with 2 Optus reps, like 2 giant serpents flying around my head. By that I meant I was kept in a constant state of confusion, which was not cool to do that to me, especially with my own CPTSD issues. But anyway, games people play, am I right? They don't know who they're dealing with when they play those games, but I surfed it like I surf everything else in my life. What else can you do? It's the zombie apocalypse. Looking at my neighbour's son, not looking right, that lad. I worry about him actually. Does not look right. What can you do? Oh, and I'll carry on reading. Sorry, I got distracted. And the distress of those 2 parking infringement notices from the same day. Fuck! Indeed. I got to thinking upon awakening how July was such an astonishing month, except for the evil of the 2 parking fines from 19th of July. I started CPAP on the 4th of July, another healing modality that will take time to adjust to, 6 to 12 months before I will know if it works on me. And I can only hope and pray that it does, because the last time I trialled it in 2003, I trialled it for 10 months and it had no benefits at all. But look, I've had a very bad relapse with my bladder during the week, very, very bad. Like the other night I was up 14 times and the next night 9 times and the other night 5 times, and now we're back to 2 times. So I can see that it is, getting better sleep or my breathing not shutting down quite so often is benefiting my bladder, if nothing else. So, that, by the way, is a positive. So I just have to ride through it. It's only been 5 weeks, so I've got roughly 5 more months to go before I know if it's working efficiently, and possibly even then another 6 months. So I'm always champing at the bit, wanting to see results and outcomes. I'm very impatient. I know what I'm like. So I just have to breathe and sing in a very high key, and be patient a little bit longer, another 5 months to a year, and see what happens. Can't imagine what it will be like to be fully rested every night and have plenty of oxygen and motivation and energy and va-va-va-vom. In fact, I might be a little bit dangerous, darlings, but look, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Hasn't happened yet. I've been an invalid for so long, I can't even imagine what it would be like to be healthy. I've never actually experienced full, vibrant health like other normal people who've had normal, healthy lives. So there is that. So, Charlie. So I guess what I'm saying is, there's a whole new vista opening up for me that I can't even quite imagine how that's going to feel like until it happens in 6 to 12 months. Yeah, babies. It's going to be amazing, I think. Amazing. Let's think positive. It is amazing. My beautiful life is already here, and I am loved, cherished, appreciated, valued, and respected. Let's stick to the manifestations that I know are positive and life-affirming and encouraging, and make them happen one day at a time, and every day. Today I had a beautiful life by seeing my friend Lynn and her granddaughter and having coffee and seeing what my stock is doing, and so I've already had a beautiful day. And whatever happens for the rest of my days on earth and the rest of my life is whatever happens. Anyway, just segued about the healing, because it is a process. The CPAP isn't going to work instantaneously, and but it is still work in a way. Then the beautiful gift of Juddy from Ramjet, putting his guitar into my arms and saying, "You're in the band now, Tanya," on the 5th of July, or the Friday night of the 5th of July, which was just so beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Then almost dying again, so boring, on the night of the 10th and 11th of July, which was Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, as my lungs shut down during the night with my CPAP mask and congestion. Don't ask me how I do it, as in how it is that I not only survived, but went dancing the following night. Swiftly followed the very next night by that astonishing fight on the 12th, 13th of July, with 2 trolling vicious young women, and me being forgiven my rage and reactivity. Again, confirmation and validation of how much I am loved and protected and included in that club. Indeed I am. Then the worrying news on the 20th of July at the end of the gig that Juddy needs chemotherapy and has to go into semi-retirement. Then we all surfed that vibe and fought off the demons of fear and disease at the Judd Fest on 25th of July, which was fucking amazing. It was indeed an amazing evening. As we poured so much powerful, healing, positive energy into that space and into our wonderful friend. I was back on Friday for Alter Egos as well on the 26th. So 2 nights in quick succession. I was dancing. Then my sweet romantic declaration after another amazingly powerful love-infused night on the 2nd or 3rd of August. Oh my, Mama T was riding high in all her meridians, grateful and happy and scintillatingly alive. But she got smited with immune system collapse by the Sunday, the 4th of August. And then all the weirdness with Optus for the past 4 days and the parking fines yesterday. Well, they arrived yesterday, but they related back to the 19th of July. So that sucks, doesn't it? It sucks big hairy balls, but it is what it is. Nastiness. So what shall she do? What she always does. Just keep moving through life by dancing her joy, defiance, freedom, and casting off the putrescence and the horror, and owning her own inner light, her inner Bodhisattva, her gifts, and shining ever brighter the more they, the negative ones, try to smite her. It's what I do best, thrive in the psychedelic dreaming, casting out the demons of despair, fear, and atrophy, and just keep dancing. We are gonna be okay, all of us. If BCC won't do the right thing by me, I will pay that $644 off on Spur. It will sting, but I will survive. If men won't do right by me, I'm just talking in general here, I'm not mentioning any particular men, I will dance to my own immolation, and then some, babies, and I will haunt your minds and souls for eternity. Those that love me and treat me with kindness shall be always blessed and filled with such joy and light. We've fought to be in each other's lives for decades. We know our own and each other's powers. When we struggle with life's vicissitudes and cruelties, we rise and shine. That we do. Every single weekend we're out there, my musician friends, playing their music and singing, and the Tanya dancing her wild, sometimes crazy looking berserker shamanic dance. And here I continue writing. We are powerful beyond all mortal ken. We continuously choose life and love. We are amazing, magical souls. We are guides, protectors, spirit warriors, muses and way showers, friends, lovers, countrymen, humans in perfected, pristine, powerful potency. I honour you. Thank you for your deep, healing, wise love. Even the young Optus lass, Erica, who did not want to see Mama T ripped off and sold off, or whatever that recent snake pit wrangling was about. She wanted me safe, a sweetness. She fought hard, and I grew ever more confused. Eventually I said in a tiny, worn-out voice, I hope I can trust you both, meaning her and the other rep that was representing the 5G department. It was very weird. It was very, very weird what happened. I still don't understand it completely. All I wanted was unlimited data. Anyway, here I write, it was chilling. Me moving out of full functioning into a broken down childlike state. Mama T, the Tanya, Miss Five, knows how epically fucking untrustworthy globalist corporations or other meritocracies can be. Trust is a gift I do not hand over easily. It has to be earned, often on the ground zero of some horrific, ignoble event, so I can see with my own eyes who really loves me, or if not love, is doing right by me. Hence the extremely weird but astonishing and lovely events of the past month, showing me true hearts and minds. May I always merit your deep love, recognition, honour and integrity. Hold the line, babies. We got this. 9th of August 2023, 1:11 a.m. Make a wish, but only if you want to. 11:11 a.m. The angels are busy. I am seen, heard and protected. Yes, I am. It is truly an unmeritorious act to fuck with the Tanya, who lives her life with integrity, courage, and as much joy as I can muster after the shit fuckery of the last 58 years. Joy scares the powers that be. They want you evacuated out of your own corpus, dead inside, numbed out, dumbed out, and compliant and pliable like Play-Doh, so they can control and manipulate you. They want you dressed in beige or grey, your houses soulless, soylent green vessels of grey. They want you vapoured and vacuous and unable to critically think for yourself, and so immobilised that you can no longer have the gumption to fight for yourself or protect others. They want you marginalised and isolated, and they will slander you to achieve that aim. Been there, done that, got the fucking t-shirt. Deify. Be careful what deceptions you subscribe to. It's all lies or misinformation. It's how they tricked you into the recent fiasco of the last 4 years. The psychological warfare operations will only intensify. It's why they, whomever they are, whomever their handlers or owners or bosses or whoever the higher-ups were in charge of that fiasco, it's why they harassed me out of the casino. It's designed to terrify and mortify, watching them pick us off like fleas on their monkey suit. They don't realise that fleas bite back. It's a deliberate soul death which they will need to amplify to your actual physical death as well. Death comes to us all eventually, but this seeding of despair and soulless carrion feeding atrophy will bring no human any good. Wear colour. I'm wearing pink and purple today. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Stand in your own light, deify. Stare down the oppressors. They are few, we are many. Arise and shine, hold true, steer a steady course. What the hell is that guy doing? Aiming his truck for my front gates. It's just bizarre. It's not even on the right side of the road. Now he's facing my gate. I hope he's not going to ram into me. Off he goes. What's a garbage truck going around the area on a Friday? Our rubbish gets collected on Wednesdays. It's a bit odd, isn't it? Anyway, not my monkey, not my circus. What I say? Stare down our oppressors. They are few, we are many. Arise and shine, hold true, steer a steady course. When your death comes, let it be after a life fulfilled and decent and loving and glorious. When you enter in peace, let it be because you rode through life courageously and danced, sang, played, created, and gifted fruits of life-affirming wisdom, but also kindness and sweetness. The rest is a giant freak show and a cosplay. 1:11 p.m, hammered by the 11s that day, wasn't I? Here we go again. My angels are driving home the synchronicities. Be alert and aware, something is shifting. Beyond my dog's awful death and the viciousness at the casino, I'm being shown that they are with me, meaning the angels. Never drive or fly faster than your angels. Remain humble, knowing the higher dimensions are guarding you and surrounding you in love, morning, noon, and night. Yeah, great, but that does not give me back my beautiful dog. I have to wait to join him in the next dimension, and by then he may have evolved to another corner of the cosmos. And I had this response from my angels. Fear not, Tanya. Your love will help him find you anywhere, in any form. Real love is precious. Its price is far beyond rubies. He is mine and I am his. My scrappy little boy dog and all my beloved pets, friends, lovers who passed over. He will be surrounded by all that love. I need fear nothing and no one. 11:27 p.m. Today has been an extraordinary day. I left my psychiatrist's office and driving out of his car park entering Kessels Road, a huge truck without any warning moved into my lane, almost slamming into me. He indicated after he had already manoeuvred the truck into my lane. I literally could have died. I hit the brakes and he pulled in front of me. I was so furious, but also shocked. I drove to Garden City, had a late lunch, looked around the shops there. Then the unusual thing was I was exiting the reject shop, and a most unusual man wearing a big leather western hat and a cream colour sleeveless cotton tunic that said Om on it, walked right up to me and said he loved my necklaces, especially the one with the tree of life And the skulls, I'm wearing Yoda today. I made that. It's a big chunk of sterling silver. I'm very proud of it. He also admired the Egyptian one and the pendant I had made a few months ago. I had layered the 3 necklaces together. I was also wearing my Deify t-shirt and my beautiful purple silk sari wrap over skirt. The man named Cedric and I got talking, and he invited me back to his home nearby. Actually, he asked for a lift home, then offered to make me a cup of tea. We had walked around Garden City together, and he seemed safe. So, very uncharacteristically, I went to his home at a caravan park nearby in Holmead Street. He was a perfect gentleman. He made me peppermint tea and had bought me a Turkish Delight chocolate, which I shared with him to go with our tea. He was a priest in the Native American religion, Cherokee, although he is white Australian, which means he'd done one of those courses, and I don't know how genuine it was, but he showed, here I say it, he showed me lots of photos of him wearing Native American regalia that he made himself from buckskins and sinew. So he really was an interesting character, and, it was an interesting encounter, and interesting to get to know him, actually. But, he immediately was into future thinking and suddenly thought that we were going to be boyfriend and girlfriend, and I was like, let me think about this, actually. So I thought about it, and I didn't go there. Not because of his quirkiness, but just because I wasn't ready to go there, I guess. Didn't ring my bells, baby, I guess. There's that too. And was a little bit demanding and a little bit too needy too, which I can't tolerate people who are demanding and overly needy. It just sets off all the red flags and sets my teeth on edge. And I thought, nah, not going there. But anyway, carry on reading. He also said he was interested in bush tucker, Aboriginal wild foods, and he goes gold prospecting, but as he doesn't have a car or drive, he is limited to travelling for that. I told him I'd be interested in gold panning, but just for a day trip somewhere, as I don't do camping, which he got very excited about and suggested that I get a gold license, a family one, and we'll go gold prospecting together. And to be fair, that would have been, a fun experience. But then I thought about it later. I thought I'll be alone with him out in some isolated spot in the bush, and if he decides to get a bit weird with me or homicidal or rapey, I'm alone with a virtual stranger in the bush. No one can hear you scream. So I changed my mind about that. Maybe it was a mistake though. Maybe I should have just been more adventurous and gone with it, but anyway, I didn't, and so that is that. But anyway, here I continue writing. We hung out for hours, mainly because he kept bringing out more albums and books out to show me all his spiritual stuff, which was interesting. He said he rarely meets anyone that is on the same page as him. I told him it was all very interesting, but actually I was kind of humouring him because everything he showed me was nothing I didn't already know and hadn't already studied myself since childhood. But anyway, look, it was very sweet. He was just so excited to meet another witch, I think, and just kept trying to he was calling himself a professor and wanting to impress me that he was a professor, and I'm like, okay, all right. But anyway, look, we had a pleasant visit. I was there a long time. I was actually with him for 5 hours, which is a terribly long time for new acquaintances, am I right? And I was so exhausted. I finally left his place around 8:30 p.m. But it was nice to make a new friend And I told him I have trauma issues and going to his home was completely out of character for me. But I guess after being kicked out of my dance space on Saturday, losing my beautiful soulmate, my dog Beauregard, then this afternoon almost being crushed by a speeding asshole truck driver, then after meeting this kind man, I felt I had nothing much left to lose. And my psychiatrist, when I told him at the next debrief after, he said, I can't believe you did that. That was so risk-taking and dangerous, Tanya. He said, you almost get killed by a truck and your response is to hit the ground running and go home with a stranger that is potentially even more dangerous than the fucking truck. I went, I know, right? It's like my spirit just keeps forging ahead, choosing life, not giving up, just forging ahead no matter what happens. And that was my trauma response, was to, oh well, this person's kind to me, what have I got to lose? I already nearly died. It was a bit bizarre, to be honest. But as I said, he was a perfect gentleman. He didn't lay a hand on me, which I was grateful for. Did try to lure me into his bedroom to show me his crystal skulls, which was hilarious because they were just glass crystal heads made out of glass. And I just said, oh wow, that's really impressive. I just kind of humoured him. And I told him that I wasn't going to go into his bedroom. And I did a little dance in his doorway, like a little Irish jig, putting one foot in and one foot out and just being childlike and silly. And he found that delightful. And, as a consequence, nothing untoward happened. And I'm very grateful for that. Very grateful. So anyway, look, I still know where that fellow lives. If I decided to go and swing past and visit him one day, I guess I could, but that would be weird after all this time, so I won't. But anyway, I just kind of had to laugh how I have these weird encounters sometimes with people, males and females. They can be so out of the box and so unusual and weird that even I'm like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that later on, Anyway, Cedric wants me to meet him at the Mount Gravatt markets on Sunday morning. I took his phone number. I will think about it. He also wanted me to come with him tomorrow, which I thought was a bit forward, wanting to straight away see me the very next day. Told me he was very, very keen indeed. And that also, I don't know. I guess I was grieving Beauregard and I was not really in that space. But anyway, it was also a little bit too full on. And anyway, he wanted me to come tomorrow to look at the op shops in Stones Corner and Mount Gravatt. But I have Rati coming to clean tomorrow. And frankly, I didn't want to be too amenable. I didn't end up ringing him or meeting him at the Sunday market. So, never mind. He wasn't actually my type anyway. And him trying to impress me with his professorship was kind of amusing because he wasn't all that intellectual. But anyway, never mind. He wasn't a bad person. He was a lovely man. And he's just not for me. I can't stand people who pretend to be something they're not. So that was another thing that I was like, oh, here we go. Got a right Wally here. But he probably was a priest in the Cherokee religion because he showed me his little certificate and it looked fairly legit. And I saw the photos of his beautiful regalia that he had made because he goes bush and, skins animals and made his own leathers and everything from scratch. That was very interesting and impressive. So he wasn't a complete idiot is what I'm saying. He's just really wasn't a professor unless you count plagiarising, gathering information off the internet, typing it out and presenting it in a folder as you're a professor. Then he was a professor of that, just saying. But anyway, I'm being harsh. I know I'm being a bit harsh because, I have friends from, you know, years and years who are actual professors, and so I can be a bit, I guess, a little bit elitist about academia. But at the end of the day, we all put our pants on one leg at a time, and no one's better than anyone else, and we all have our life paths. And it was just that he was a little bit too dominating, and I worked that out in the 5 hours of sitting there when he kept begging me to stay longer. I was like, oh, Jesus. Oh, well, a little bit longer. What else am I going to do with my time, you know? The man was mad keen, or just mad. But that often happens too, that I attract men who are very unusual, not all that well. And I don't judge usually because, you know, I'm unusual and I'm not always that well either. So there is that. But anyway, I didn't pursue a romance with him is what I'm saying. I'm keeping myself pristine, and I'm waiting for the one that I love deeply and who loves me deeply, however that manifests. Don't know when that will happen or who, but time will tell. Crystal and Jared went to Mount Tamborine today. Crystal invited me only an hour before I was due for my psych appointment, so I could not go. She often used to do that. It was a bit fucking passive aggressive. It was like, oh, Mum, do you want to go here with me? You've got an hour. And I'd be like, you could have asked me last night or, you know, earlier this morning. I can't cancel things now. I'm like, can't go. Miss out. And but she's very spontaneous. And so there's no harm in that. There's no harm in being spontaneous. But if you want to organise, you know, a day trip or something with your mother, you kind of have to let her know a little bit more than an hour ahead of time. Just saying. Well, anyway, that doesn't happen anymore. So there is that. Yes, my darling. Yes, Charlie. My friend Brecky Tit in Amsterdam wrote, interesting, that meeting with Cedric. Venus is in retrograde now in Leo, so maybe this is an old karmic friend. A good one. Go explore. And I replied, 'twas a highly unusual encounter indeed. I was a little bemused when he insisted on buying me a chocolate, and he came out of the reject shop and gifted me a Turkish delight. This is because when I first met my last love interest, he bought me a baklava. What is it with men buying me Middle Eastern sweets? Laughing my ass off. But I think Cedric might make a good friend as he shares many of my interests in spirituality. And then a bit later on, about a week later, I decided maybe not, you know. There was just too many levels of crazy mixed in with all of that. So, and I've got I had my own work to do in the past 12 months, getting myself through the grief of losing Beauregard and getting myself back up on my feet again. So, Charlie, what are you doing? Climbing up and down the laptop. Yes, yes, I know, you're being a cheeky bird. Bye-bye. How about Mama? Mama. Yes, he's over there. His portrait is behind us. Is that what you're looking at? No, you're looking over there. All right, well, you just do you, Charlie. 9th of August, yes, I know. 9th of August, 2022. The Ein Sof chariot of the Tanya and her belligerent angels is clean. 2 years ago, Charlie. Well, I cleaned it last year. No, I cleaned it not that long ago, only a few months ago, but it needs another clean. It's grotty. It is. Mama. So I was talking to Lynn on the phone, telling her how spirit or an angel was yelling at me last night to wash my car. I said, why are they worried about that so much? The car paint is all crazed and is damaged. Like, what's the point? And all the pressure. She replied that it's because they want to see me taking care of all the small things as well as the big curveballs they throw my way. They want to build a trusting relationship that when they tell me things, I will act on their instructions in perfect faith that it's for my highest good. She's right about that, isn't she, Charlie? Yes, I've got to obey the instructions from the higher realms. I do argue with them at times, but if they're adamant that something has to be done, then I have to do it. She reminded me of the many years when mediums would tell me of their frustration, the angels and spirits' frustration, that is, because I literally could not hear them. I said no, because I was too traumatized and maxed out on psych meds to barely think in full sentences, never mind take instructions from unseen entities. In fact, I shut it down for a very long time after my first real bout of clairvoyance seeped through the psych meds fog, and I had a vision while davening in shul and advised my rabbi, that would be Rabbi Uri Tamal, that he would be maligned and betrayed by his own peers at a Moatzah meeting, and he became so weirded out and hostile after that vision coming true only a few weeks later that he barely spoke to me again. So ended our friendship. Like it's my fault that I had this window into the future momentarily and could see it like watching TV all being played out. It's not my fault, but it is my fault for telling him. It's one of the things I should have just kept stum about, and then we might have still been friends. But nah, it had to be told. I only told him to actually give him a warning that to expect some kind of nastiness, and of course he didn't believe me, and then when it came true, then he somehow internalized that I had somehow brought it about, which was not the case. You know, a psychic only sees things. She doesn't preempt or make things happen. That, my friends, is in the lap of the gods and other people's free will and evil or good inclinations, depending on the circumstances at hand. So don't blame psychics when bad things happen that we tried to warn you about, by the way, for the love of all the gods. Which hurt. It still hurts. That vision was gifted to me for his protection, and if he was too stupid or arrogant to see that, then size, not my circus, not my monkeys. And I had wanted to protect him actually, because he, a few years prior to that, had been very loving and protective of me when I was falsely accused of being a Nazi, by the way, in my Jewish community back in 1989 here in Brisbane. So naturally I wanted to warn him of trouble ahead and to be prepared for it. But he wasn't a believer in the spiritual worlds, and I don't know, must have internalized it that it was somehow my fault. No, it was not. Yet again, it was not. Anyway, so I shut it all down to my own detriment. Now, when my angels treat me like a servile automaton and order me to wash my car, it fills me with suspicion. But I myself said in my own video only yesterday that it does not bode well to trivialize or ignore or dishonor the angels. So today, the car gets washed. I will follow only the orders of the Most High. The rest can whistle Dixie in a small corner of hell somewhere. Lol. For fuck's sake, that Crush song is running through my head again. Let's not overanalyze. Don't go too deep with it, baby. It's constantly, I had that particular line constantly being run through my head. Is that the message? Go away, cryptic trickster spirits. Mama T ain't got no time for bullshit. 9th of August 2021. Some lovely photos of the Beauregard, Monsieur Le Beau, my beautiful boy. Bobo Baby has driven me up the wall all afternoon with his ball. He is finally settling down and snoozing. And there's him snoozing. Snoozy poozy, snoozy woozy. Mama's little boy. Now he's resting with the angels permanently. I know Beauregard. I know Charlie. There's a photo of where he just dumped the ball right into my lap, which was kind of hilarious. Look after my ball, Mama T. 9th of August 2020. I pulled out my old Royal Doulton and other chipped and cracked cheap bowls, replaced it with my mother's German china, which I finally dragged out of storage. I had a funny turn after putting it in my cupboard, but waste not, want not. It's perfectly good china and not as scratched as my stuff, which has been in daily use for 30 years. It blew my mind how my mother's energy can still swamp me though. I ate a piece of toast with brie, thinking the funny turn was hunger, but no, I still feel a bit faint. But I'm sick of clutter and unused china lying around. So this is a huge change for me to actually use the old stuff from Mum that I have had here for 12 years. I was waiting for Godot and my stuff to get worn out. So today is the day. Use it or lose it. I did use it for 3 years, but then about sometime last year I packed it all away again in the cabinet and I bought some second-hand, cheap china, cheap, crockery, and I'm using that now. And you know what? It's amazing the difference in energy. It's how much trauma is attached to my mother's very, very exclusive German china. There's still an energetic kind of link, and I wasn't enjoying eating off it really, but I can't sell it. It's worth too much, and they give you peanuts for it. So I'll just leave it here. The kids can inherit it when I'm dead, and they won't have the same trauma links to it because they might actually though. Well, anyway, they can do what they want with it when I die, and if I still have it when I die. But I just didn't want to eat off it anymore. It was just too much constant reminders, which is weird since I have no problem wearing her cardigan every day this winter and last winter too. But anyway, maybe it's different wearing something as to eating it and not getting the full quality of taste because it's that rancorous bitterness attached to it. So another thing I will need to release, I guess. I am moving the antique china cabinet into the lounge too, decluttering my beleaguered bedroom. Then I posted a photo of all my old Royal Doulton that is now under the house, ready to be used for mosaics. Haven't done any more mosaics, so it's just sitting there. It's probably more stuff I need to release actually. Then I posted a photo of that cabinet over there with all the bits and bobs on it, because I'd moved it out of my bedroom and created a little bit more room in my bedroom, because I was feeling very hemmed in indeed. Very hemmed in indeed. Watching 9/11, 102 minutes that changed America. Harrowing. I started having hysterical conversions, i.e. seizures, after 9/11, as I had already been fighting my own domestic terrorism orchestrated by the Giesler Buck Terry David Gila franchise, with no support from police or government. Seeing 9/11 catalysed me into finally moving the hell away from my mother's house in Logan Lee and going into hiding, but not far enough. Never mind, I am safer now. Yes, my darling. Enjoying my government housing commission home that so many scorn, fuck them, and my mother and my own remaining trinkets. Pity I don't have extra cash flow, but all good. I have existed on barely enough for decades. I am alive when so many are not. I get a million chances to improve my life when many had their lives snuffed out that day. Also the many terrorist attacks and wars and skirmishes that followed that awful day. Hell, I don't even know why I'm alive. It's nothing short of miraculous and a tad astounding given how many men, manipulated by my own mother, actively tried to kill me. So here I am, sei gesund, even in a time of plague. It's incomprehensible, this strange, strange epoch in my weird life. And I shared an article, but it got taken down. It says this content isn't available, which is annoying. But I wrote a comment which I've preserved here. This was Case's philosophy also. He said it helped him survive Dora. Laying his head down in the few hours of sleep they were permitted, and completely switching off his mind from anxiety and worry. He claimed that the prisoners who worried usually died very soon from lack of sleep, lack of food, weakness, typhus, dysentery, or being shot as they were nodding off on the assembly line. Middle Baldora had an assembly line under the tunnel in the mountain at Nordhausen, and where the slave labourers, the prisoners, an assembly line put together the V1 and V2 rockets that blitzed London. So that's what he was doing in that concentration camp for 18 months. He actually survived there, which is a very long time. And I was told later, do you think that we're attractive men? Said his fellow compatriot. I said, yes. He said, why is it, what do you think, why is it, how is it that do you think that we survived so long in that camp? I just said, say no more. I couldn't bear to hear it spoken out loud, but he basically admitted they were used as well as, raped and used as sex slaves as well as slave labourers. It's just fucking appalling. But it explains a lot about Case's predilections to predate on children, specifically me, and his constant womanizing as an adult male, couldn't let him out the front door within 5 minutes, he'd be hitting on someone, constant sex addiction, and kind of predatory behaviour, but in a very charming and, Casanova, very charming way. Well, it wasn't charming for me as a child, let's put it that way. Not that he actually raped me, but there was constant threats of rape and constant sexual harassment, and one time he threw me... Oh, you don't need to hear that. I must release. You don't need to hear the minutiae. But anyway, it was horrific how I was harassed by him. And then to find out that he himself was a rape survivor in that concentration camp just turned my blood to ice in my veins. But I thought, well, that explains a lot, doesn't it? There's no excuse for it, and I don't forgive it, but it explains a lot of his sick, fucked up attitudes towards sexuality and women and children. It's quite disturbing, actually. But I must release. I had a reading today. It was a very negative reading. I was actually quite annoyed that I'd wasted my money on that, to be honest. One of the things she said was you have to go and ground and release, and you're not ready for a relationship. That part might be true because I'm still struggling to get my health in order, and the man I'm in love with isn't available anyway, so there will never be any readiness for that relationship, because it's just not fair to destroy someone's life by having an affair with someone. And anyway, it's not likely to happen, because to have an affair, you have to both be in love, am I right? So anyway, but it was a kind of a weird reading, because she said to me, you've been a hermit in your home, and you've been living like a hermit, and you mustn't be afraid to invite people into your home. And I nodded, because I've been thinking that I should invite, my friends from this music scene to my home and include them into my real life existence. And I'm kind of nervous about that, because I've had so much abuse from other friends I had in that scene that came here and told me my house wasn't good enough and I wasn't good enough, and it's like a trauma response. Anyway, she said, don't be afraid to invite people into your home, and don't be afraid to leave your home. And I said, but my home's my sacred space, like I actually call it sacred space, Titania's realm. And she's like, yes, but don't let your house be a trap where you just, trapped there. And I'm looking at her, because I thought, am I leaving my home? I'm scared to leave this home because it's my only stability. So it was a strange reading in that regard. And then she couldn't quite pick up on anything. She was sort of halfway there. She said that I hadn't experienced enough joy in my life, and if I wanted my beautiful life, I have to release all the old traumas, and I haven't done enough work. I just glared at her, because I've done 25 years of therapy and lots of spiritual work, and I'm exhausted from it all, actually. I'm so drained from it. No, you haven't done enough. You have to do more, and you need to release and let it all go. And I'm like, there's only one way that will happen, and that's when I die. So I'm looking at her thinking, fuck, am I about to die soon? I mean, she didn't say that, but that's how I interpreted it, And it was you don't have enough joy in your life. And I'm looking at her, I didn't tell her, but I have so much joy in my life. Every weekend I go dancing wildly, every Friday, sometimes, Saturdays, I have so much joy in my life, which counterbalances my hermitage, Sunday to Friday. So I'm like, or Saturday till Thursday or whatever, and then I have my wild nights on Friday. I have plenty of joy in my life, actually. My life is as joyful as I can possibly make it, given that I put in all the effort to push myself out into the world, often not feeling all that well myself, and having my wild dance. She didn't pick up on any of that, said that I was living a miserable, isolated, hermit type existence, blah, blah, blah. I thought, oh no, this is not at all right. So the moral of that story is Mamati makes her own destiny and her own future. The one thing she did say that I thought was accurate was she said, I need to trust in my spirit guidance and my messengers that tell me things from time to time, and that I have to pay heed and obey them, which I just mentioned here earlier. Because she said if you don't listen and don't obey when they send you, important messages, they're going to stop telling you things, because what's the point if you don't act on what they tell you? And yes, that part she was right about. That's true. If you don't listen, don't pay heed, and don't act on things that are told you for your highest good, then they do stop communicating. I know that for a fact. So that was the only thing I got out of that reading, really. But yeah, it was weird. Anyway, I won't be paying for any readings. I haven't paid a reader in many, many years. I haven't gone to a reader in many years. Now I realise I kind of don't need to, because if I tune in with my trance drumming, I get quite accurate messages, and I don't need to spend money on someone telling me basically that I have to heal all my traumas, and that it's a constant work, and blah, and I haven't done enough. That's not at all true. It's not at all true, And I have to pay off my karmic debt. Well, by the gods, if I haven't paid back that karmic debt by now, after 59 years of struggling on this planet, then it will never be paid off. It's just going to bleed into other lifetimes, Oh, then she said to me, oh, by the way, she said, you're of the light and you need to work with the light more and trust in it and stay in the light. And I nodded, I get that. I do get that. I carry my own darkness and my own kind of witchy, gothic, alternative ways, but I am a light worker. It's the only thing she probably got right, actually. But yes, it was very, very strange, quite negative reading, actually. But anyway, I'm okay. What will be, and I'm okay. Where was I? Reading about Case. He mocked my mother and myself for being warriors, as in worrying about things, not warriors. He said we would never have survived. Very true that. Both had very bad generalised anxiety from our trauma issues. Mum's from surviving in a very, very abusive mother and World War II in Nazi Germany, and my anxiety from surviving her. Case, my father, my pedophile godfather Trevor, my half-sister, it's like naturally we have anxiety. Who wouldn't with an upbringing like that? But don't worry, I need to release it. Oh, dear goddess. People who try to psychoanalyze you as part of a psychic reading, it's kind of comical, because it's not actually, they're not qualified for that, really. But anyway, my spirit people, my angels, my ancestors, they've set me on a firm path, and I can see so much soul development, even in the last 12 months since Beauregard's death. So I do trust in it, and I am grateful and I am happy to see me blossoming out again and being loving and joyous and dancing my wild dance. It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, he said we would never have survived, and I said, very true that. My big outspoken mouth and trying to protect others would have gotten me killed too. Absolutely. 9th of August 2018. You have to laugh. Can you see the tea bag? Can you see it? Narada, pesticide-free, Australian grown. So I did the environmental woke thing and bought this tea, thinking I was being a good hippie crone and leaving a softer footprint, yada, yada, yada. Australian owned, pesticide free. Well, this stuff has no flavour. One would think even if bugs got in, it would give it a kick. It has totally ruined my tea joy. Worse still, I bought 100 bags of this tasteless shit. I mean, you have to laugh. Okay. I accept my body is probably used to the toxic waste dumping ground of the other tea companies. But oh my, I miss a good cup. 9th of August 2017. Just twisted my back by bending over too quickly to pick something up off the floor. Ridiculous. On a brighter note, it is a gorgeous day and my hair still looks good after Kylie's efforts yesterday. I had to go back to bed in a lot of pain, took 2 Panadols, another waste of a beautiful day. My body hates me. I woke up feeling okay, bent over the sink, snap, it's a bit scary. On Monday, when Jared visited, I decided to burn a lock of my mother's hair that I had kept precious, sentimental fool, in a trinket box for the past 7 years and 5 months. The hair lock had been foisted upon me by that awful Moreton Bay nursing care unit. They had insisted I keep it as a souvenir of my dead mother. Anyway, I pulled out my incense burning pot and lit a match to the beautiful, shiny and rather healthy looking silver lock of hair that was bound prettily with a maroon ribbon. Well, can you imagine my horror when the hair did not singe and disintegrate like natural hair, but melted? Fucking melted like nylon or plastic. It smelt like burning hair, so some real hair must have been amongst it, but when it melted into the shape of a 1920s German cartoon character my mother had been fond of. I showed it to Jared. The molten thing looked like a black cat. Not even my mother's hair. I feel cheated and made a fool of by that awful dementia unit. They must have kept a wig for that purpose of gifting family with locks of dead relatives' hair. Utterly ghastly. We buried the charred remains of the wiglet under Mum's memorial chair. It seemed the right place to put it. Now I just wish she would move on into the light and leave me alone. I shared an article, homelessness, older women couch surfing, sleeping in cars due to unaffordable housing. This was back in 2017, but it's still a major problem in 2024. Here I wrote, I'm grateful to be in my Housing Commission house. It's been the only real, safe home I ever had. I have lived here for 14 years now, try 21 years now. And although I dream of moving to Byron Bay and living in better circumstances, I just can't risk it. I will probably be living here until I die, and that is good enough for me, as I love my pets and my garden, and with my ever-failing health, I have a cosy warm bed and a roof over my head. I'm very lucky and very happy. August 9th, 2016. 4 hours sleep, now wide awake but exhausted. The sun rises red. Sailor's warning. Time to dive back under the doona and meld my consciousness back into the ether. Dream a little dream of me, for me, and for me, and rest my brain. No, how should that read? Dream a little dream of me, for me, and rest my brain. There needed to be a comma there. I have been more fatigued than ever since last August, when I decided to experiment with death, tipped over the edge by systemic abuse. It was a horrible 4 months of 2015, and this year another horrid 4 months, fighting off a bad asthma bronchitis, which I'm yet to fully recover from. But here I am, a survivor and an almost, on weekends, thriver. New tentative spiritual growth, reaching onwards and upwards like a gnarly old tree, bits of my essence struck by lightning, so burnt and broken off, but from desolation, beautiful things grow. Older, wiser, but still aware of how much I have to overcome, but impressed with how far I have come in this highway to hellish heavens, stretching myself into the sunshine of my eternity, blossoming. I am sick with allergies, stuffy, runny nose. Again, fuck it. We, the Beau and I, have been to the dog park. He behaved badly. Made the mama fetch the ball, funny twisted guy, then started attacking new puppies, so I took him home. He tried to kill Tabitha, who I found in shock but not too badly injured, so I wrapped her in a towel and gave her honey, cuddled her, then set her in her nest. She recovered quickly. He got to her while I was distracted watering the front garden. The 3 new hens peck at his face, so he mostly leaves them alone, but my other 3 are lovers, not fighters. I will have to get organised soon. I spent the lovely, meaning I'll have to make a dog-proof fencing for them, which I did eventually do. I spent the lovely weather of the afternoon cleaning out the filters in the fish ponds and topping them up. I also filled up the water reservoir in my car and gave it a hosing. I must give it a proper wash soon, also a service. Today I organised a direct debit with Queensland Transport to pay my rego 3 monthly. It comes out on the 25th of August, so I will have to budget carefully next Tuesday so there are enough funds in my account. But it will be a relief to not have to rely on friends to advance me the rego money then pay them back 2 months later when my pension advance comes through. I hate being a burden. I absolutely hate that. I'm glad that I'm not having to do that anymore. I'm floating along okay most of the time, but worried about the parking infringements because that will set me into hardship, but I'll just cross that bridge when we come to it. Another power outage, averaging 1 every 2 or 3 nights. Shitty Energex and their power board up the street that makes a huge bang and scares the neighbourhood plus my dog. 9th of August 2015. Hormones. Banana muffins in the oven. Mysteriously the mix only makes 5, but it is a 6-cup tin. Even more mysteriously is that I now care about that shit. God help me. Orange poppy seed cake about to be made. Then I will eat cake and sleep until my hair appointment tomorrow. Penny is very smoochy tonight. This is because it is cold. I held her in my arms and said, "Penny, do you love Mum?" She turned her head to face me, stared into my soul, and commenced an almost sarcastic purr. Yup, she loves me for my body heat. Actually, no, she really did love me deeply, that cat. She was a wonderful soulmate and a wonderful friend. Last night I rocked out all night long. I witnessed a tiny Asian lady, my age, get kicked up the arse twice by some feral, fat, festy Aussie male that had tried to pester me. I had ignored the creep. So he took his rage and sexual frustration out on someone tiny. My blood boiled over. If he had done that to me, I would have bashed him. I told security. They threw him out. Vile man. I spoke to the lady. I said, "Never let a man do that to you again. Any man, anywhere. If they get away with treating you like that, they think they can do that to every other woman." She nodded, thanked me for telling security. It made me even angrier that, although she was upset about being kicked, she was scared to tell security herself. She was lucky that I witnessed her assault and that I reported it. Apart from that vileness, I had a lovely time dancing with my lovely ladies and some nice men, although one showed up and was flirting with me, which pissed me off as his wife is in Romania. He is a Kiwi. That means he's a New Zealander like me. I said, "Don't flirt." He laughed. He said, "I just love dancing." Nuh-uh, fool. He was flirting. When I left at 4 a.m, he was working the Asian ladies, but that was okay as the lady he was working on is savvy and she shot me a look. She had already observed my discomfort with him gaslighting me. I like him. He is fun to dance with, but he is not trustworthy. Phew, lucky escape. Mind you, I hit him with a hammer, meaning metaphorically speaking, you understand. I made sure my friends knew he is married. He said, "You dobbed on me." I said, "Yup, damn straight I did." As if I'm going to let him seduce women I like and dance with every weekend while he pretends he is single. What a shithead. Now, if they know he is married and one of them still goes for it, that is by choice. They would know the situation is muddy. I just hate how some people lie and use and abuse their way through life and expect to be protected. especially men who use the fact we are both New Zealanders as some kind of cover my back, I am a countryman bullshit scenario. My loyalty is to myself, then other women. Sociopathic men will never have my loyalty or respect. Country men included. Meanwhile, apropos of no thing, Shakespearean English for penis, I'm actually wrong about that. I have to change that urgently. That is not correct. No thing is Shakespearean English for vagina. I won't edit it on here though because we'll lose it. We'll lose the lot. I'll have to do it on my iPhone. But that annoys me that I had that wrong. Naughty, naughty Tanya Aarons. But you know, I too make mistakes sometimes. I can own my own mistakes. So let me read that again. Apropos of nothing, Shakespearean English for vagina, I am still single and probably will be until I die. It is not so bad. The more I dance and the more evil shenanigans disguised as drunken revelry to mask really shitty behaviours, the more content I am to be alone. My life is awesome. I don't really want to be alone anymore. I mean, that reader said to me this morning that I'm not ready, but that's not true. I am ready. I'm so ready. I've been ready for years, but I'm just holding back because it has to be with the right man and the right circumstances, with harm to none and competition with none, no harm and no foul. That's what I'm waiting for. The right person who shows me by his deep, deep love for me that he's authentically in love with me and chooses me. And I need to feel the same way about him. And then it will happen, babies, provided there's no other triangulations or third parties involved, because I'm not living like that. That's not what I want for my life. Being, taking the scraps from another woman's table, or being the third wheel, or being forever soiled and despoiled by men that aren't serious about me and are just out for an affair that might be wildly exciting to them but will leave me potentially damaged and broken down. And well, I say all these things, but then I get my hopes up, don't I? I swing from the chandeliers from one extreme to the other. So maybe she's right. I'm not ready and I never will be ready. It's been too much heartache in my life. And but you know what? It doesn't matter ultimately anyway, no matter what, because I'll still go dancing and I'll surround myself in the love that's flown to me in my beautiful Brooklyn Standard Club, and I'll surround myself in the music that's flowed to me from my beautiful musician friends, and I'll surround myself in love from, the higher realms, and from Charlie, and, my true friends, Lynn and Jared, and, and I'll just be happy every day in every way. And if I'm meant to be in a loving love relationship with a wonderful man who adores me, that will happen in the appropriate time. It all comes down to, timing and what the gods decree, who they believe is the right person for me, and it will happen. It will happen. I don't know who it will be, but it will happen. I hope it happens soon because I'm getting older and what have you, and starting to kind of worry a bit about quality of life and I don't know, not wanting to be alone anymore. But look, even if I never meet my true love partner that's meant to be my partner and I stay here, my little housing commission cottage, for the rest of my life till the day I die, that too is a choice that I've made, and I'll have to live by that choice. And, it's staying alone, staying safe might be the greatest love of all, protecting myself from any more vagaries or cruelties or disappointments or heartaches or people that are playing me false. I don't think anyone's playing me false at the moment. I just have friendships. But I've had false love affairs before and a false marriage. That was the worst and the most damaging of all, because I had the children to try and get us through. So what am I saying here? I'm happy and I'm contented in this moment to, just carry on with my dancing, and then through the week, my creativity, my video vlog making, and when I feel like it, making jewellery and whatever other pursuits I take up again. I need to learn spinning, and I need to maybe go back to making tapestry weaving. I've been thinking about that for about 3 or 4 years. But those are all very time-consuming pursuits. So if I get a wonderful lover, I won't have as much time to devote to that. So there is that too. Anyway, what did John Lennon say? Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. You never know what's around the corner, or what distractions or delights or deep, passionate loves might come your way. You never really know. Sometimes it's gorgeous to just be taken by surprise and not be afraid to ride that vibe. Just saying, I have to overcome quite a few fears. So there is that. Anyway, 9th of August 2014, 5:10 a.m. Home safe after an awesome night celebrating Shauna's birthday. Woot, footsore, exhausted, but happy. 9th of August 2013, watching Vikings, loving it, and them laughing out loud. 9th of August 2010. If I work hard one day, I sleep for the next 2 or 3 days. It's nice to have energy and accomplish what I need to do, but do I have to pay for it for days after? Oi! I still live like that 14 years later. I can go like a oxygen thieving space bandit, time lord, and go and pour all my energy into a project, and then I collapse after. I've always been that way, even in childhood. So we'll see how much energy I have in 6 to 12 months' time. Let's be positive, when the CPAP, resolves majority of my sleep apnea issues, I'll probably have more energy and I'll be able to achieve more without going into collapsing mode afterwards. That would be delightful. I look forward to that, being able to do more things and participate in more things, and be the kind of woman that a man wants to be with, because I have energy and vigour and vitality and va-va-va-voom, babies. Oh, you have to laugh. Anyway, thus concludes today's readings of Even Date. Time is now 3:31 p.m. on the 9th of August. It's a Friday, and got my rings on. I'm a bit tired now, to be honest. Might have a little nap. If I'm going to go dancing tonight, I'll need to have a little bit of a nap, recharge my batteries a bit, see how I feel. I always decide around about 8 p.m. in the evening. If I don't feel good, I stay home, but I haven't stayed home. I haven't stayed home in a long time. I've just continuously put myself out and had my wild dance, and you know, I've enjoyed myself. Didn't enjoy the 2 parking infringements that sucked big hairy balls, but I enjoy my dancing, and I'll just have to be a lot more careful about parking from tonight on. Oh, poor Tani Wani. Anyway, yeah, bye for now. Remember, as always, to never ever let the bastards grind you down, and live your best life and do your very best to be your own unique awesomeness, and love the ones who love you back with true hearts and minds, body, spirit and soul. And yeah, if you're a dancer, dance. If you're a musician, play your music. And whatever you know, leisure activity that people like to do. Some people like sport, some people like playing chess. Whatever hobby you have, just go out and enjoy it. Be amongst friends and live your best life. Bye for now from Titania's realm. Have a beautiful day, afternoon, evening and night, wherever you are in the space-time continuum. Take good care. Big agape love.